Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, September 12th, 2018. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The previous session we had a pretty powerful outside day up, a bullish outside day reversal. You can see right here, previous session lows below those lows a day before, and then price closes the day above the previous highs here. That's an outside, a bullish outside up, the way I describe it in my book, Secrets of a Pivot Boss. This uptrending market here suggests at the pivot range that we could see another round of strength to the upside. Now, after a big day up right here, we're seeing early rejection of those highs, which suggests we could pull back toward 28.78.5, which is the midpoint of the previous session, and that could provide a buying opportunity for a continuation higher. Any failure to hold 28.78.5 by the end of the day could be very significant, because in that case we may see a failure here and then a close below this low, which could lead to a failure down the road. So the ES isn't really out of the woods just yet, but overall we still continue to see strength inside the pivot range after the pullback to start the month. And from here, bulls are trying to keep this area bid for another round of strength to new highs. So again, keep an eye. The previous session's high here being rejected, previous close being rejected at the moment, and that could open up more downside to 28.78.5. And again, that's a zone that intraday bulls would want to defend for a shot at continuing this thing higher and closing it higher than yesterday's close. All right, taking a look at the NQ, you'll notice here very similar type of price action. The NQ and tech really led yesterday significantly. Again, another outside day up right here where price pushed below the previous lows, formed a minor little box, and then rallied strongly back to the mid, back to VWAP, and through it, and then pushed through 2-day highs, closing much higher. So very bullish, and again, this one hasn't been as strong as the ES. It had a bigger pullback. It closed below the previous month's midpoint. All of those things suggest a little bit weaker overall, but however, this rejection was pretty strong. And again, what we were looking for was to see how was price going to respond at the high here in overnight trading, because that could open up again a pullback toward the midpoint of the outside day. So again, we could be looking at short-term weakness back toward 74.65. And then bulls will want to look to defend somewhere between 65 and 80. Bulls were going to want to defend that zone for a shot at continuing this thing higher and closing higher. So again, those are the things to look for today's session, but we continue to see uptrending behavior. Pullback to the pivot range has been defended, and that could lead again to another round of strength. And so that's what we're looking for here today. How is price going to respond around 74.65 and 74.80? Here's a zone right here to look at in crude oil. This one had a major rally in the previous session, a huge stop run day to the upside, an aggressive rally through the prior highs, big time move up, and again another failure at the high, not quite a failure, but holding up there. And again, this is kind of a holding day at the moment, but that could lead to a little bit more of a pullback followed by a buying opportunity and a continuation higher. Again, crude oil has had a tough time finding acceptance above 70, a tough time, and right now price is trading 69.93. You can see ever since mid-July it's taken 70 offered, 70 offered, 70 offered, and the one time it got above 71s, it formed a box and took it offered all the way back to 66.86. So again, 70 has been a big time level of resistance for this market, and even if we had an aggressive day up yesterday, it could still see resistance yet again. So continue to watch 70 here. If there's any failure to really find acceptance above 70 or above this blue dot and blue dotted line and blue line, that's the zone right there where bears are really going to want to keep this area offered for another shot at lows. Meanwhile, any pullback into about 69 and the midpoint of the previous session, which is 68.83, could be defended by bulls for an attempt to extend the range through those levels. So again, this is what to look for here. Big time, this level on a pullback could be defended for a try at pushing through these levels, because again, look at this. If we do have some sort of inverted head and shoulder type of pattern here and we break through 70.5, that could open up at least a retest back toward 75.25. So again, we're in the zone right now where this market has been coiling up significantly. Which way are we going to go? Are we headed lower, or are we going to break to the upside here? This range has been significant in its compression, and it's getting more and more to the apex of that range, so we could be getting closer to an expansion move out of this range. Let's take a look now at RTY. RTY is one that is not participating so much in the rally that we saw yesterday in tech and in the larger cap stocks here. You can see 1720 is the big level to watch here, the top of the key range. It pulled back and tried to hold, it pulled back and tried to hold, and then it dropped below it and it's sitting right there on it. So this one's really not participating so much in the rally over the last day or so. But again, any pullback in this market has been defended so far, but this one at least has taken a little bit more time before it's seen some strength materialize. So again, this one's falling behind just a little bit, and if there's a failure to hold 1720 overall, or maybe price pops up here and rejects 1730, that could suggest again that we're dropping back down toward the midpoint of the key range. That would be 1676.70. So again, this is one to watch for signs of early failure. Additionally, if we take a look at the YM, here's the blue chips. Blue chips aren't really participating either. Look at the previous month's close price, that blue dotted line. Bears defending, bears defending, bears defending, bears defending, 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 and defending. But they're not getting paid right now, and this recent failed low right here suggested that they had everything they needed to try and go down, and they failed, and price popped back up. But you can definitely see bears are defending that area. Meanwhile, bulls are defending the lower ends, and we have ourselves a very narrow range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days out, we can adjust our indicator here to reflect 8 days. Here it is, 1, 2, 3, that's 8. Click OK. And now this quantifies this price action for us, and you can see down here at the bottom, very, very narrow 6-day range here compared to what it usually is. Usually you see maybe 1,000 points on a 6-day range basis. Right now we have all of 336 points on a 6-day range basis. So that's basically 67% of average. That's very, very narrow. So again, this suggests that we are coiling up and we are very due for some sort of expansion. Is it going to be to the upside? Is it going to be to the downside? We'll see which way we go. Again, this market has been trending up, so it's hard not to see it going higher. But one thing that's very, very clear is that we've been sitting right here above that 2570. I've mentioned that this is the zone that we've seen quite a bit of resistance over time, and we are just sitting right there above it with a little box. And again, if these late longs don't get paid, then they may see the stops come out and a return back toward 24,886 occur. So again, this is the range to watch. Continue to watch that 2570 to the downside. Any failure to hold that level could be significant. Meanwhile, bulls are trying to get this thing pushing higher toward the key range high of the year, which is 26,684. So those are the key levels to watch in the YM. And again, we're getting very close to a point here where we could see some significant price action. Alright, that is it for now. Let's see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.